Pilates lead at the Rochester Athletic Club. We're going to do a little bit of Pilates today, but before we begin, we're going to ground ourselves into the earth, learning about neutral positions of your feet, pelvis, shoulders, ribs. So we're going to start just rocking back and forth to our toes, back to our heels. Inhale to your toes, exhale back to your heels. So really pay attention, the entire ball of your foot, from your big toe joint to your little, the center of your heel. And then we're going to ground ourselves so we're feeling the entire ball of our foot, center of our heel. You want to lift your arch of your foot away from an imaginary thumbtack. Think about your feet being your footing of a home, so nice grounded feet. I want you to keep your knees directly above the center of your feet. Your pelvis nice and neutral, so be mindful not to scoot the booty out or tuck under. Nice neutral pelvis, so if your pelvis was a bowl of water, water level in its bowl. Your feet are your footing, your pelvis is your foundation wall. Ribs close, so be mindful not to stick the rib cage out, but hold those ribs closed like you're shutting elevator doors. Shoulders directly stacked over the ribs, head floating away from your spine. So think about your head as being a nice helium balloon that just floats away from your spine. Nice neutral position. And then a big inhale through your nose, reach those arms up to the ceiling, take a big stretch, and then exhale. Find those feet to be grounded in the earth. Inhale, reach up, and exhale down. Now we're going to reach up and just stretch our shoulders a little bit. So I want you to take your right hand, reach it up to the ceiling, stretch that shoulder. Take the left hand, reach it up, give it a nice stretch. One more on each side, reaching. Exhale, return. Now inhale, reach, and return. And we're going to move to the... Now we're going to do our Pilates roll up and roll over. So you can start seated. I want you to reach towards your feet, but pull your ribs back to the mat behind you. Take an inhale to prepare, start rolling back, lead with the tag of your pants, one vertebra at a time, finds the mat, exhale, all the way back down. Arms stay reaching to the ceiling, lift your gaze, look at your toes. Inhale, peel the spine off the mat, one vertebra at a time, up and over a giant ball in your lap. Inhale, roll back, one vertebra at a time. So they're going to roll back, leading with the tag of the pants, shoulders find the mat. Arms are going to stay reaching to the ceiling. Keep the rib cage closed. Lift your gaze. Look at your toes. Pull the ribs back as you reach towards your toes, keeping the spine in flexion the whole time. Roll back down. Inhale. When it gets hard, exhale. All the way back down to the mat. One more. Lift your gaze. Look at your toes. Keeping the spine in flexion. Up and over a giant ball in your lap. Now we're going to roll back, and we're going to stay back on the mat. You're going to grab your arm, take your arms strong to your mat, pull your knees into your chest to roll over. Inhale, send those legs out long. Feel that low belly work. Exhale, up and over. Use your hands to help guide you. Take those hands strong to the mat. Flex your feet, roll down, one vertebra at a time. Pushing those arms into the mat through your leverage. Inhale, legs go out long. Exhale, up and over. Flex the feet, stand on the wall behind you. Reach the sit bones away from the heels. And roll back down. Nice. Inhale out long. Exhale up and over. Lifting the booty high. Be mindful not to collapse, but really lengthen through the hips and ribs. Flex those feet and roll back down, one vertebra at a time. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Now on to shoulder bridge. Really good for the hamstrings, good for the glutes, also a nice hip opener. So push those strong arms into your mat. Walk your heels closer to your sits bones. So I want your heels to be fairly close to those sit bones, but line your heels up with the sits bones. Chin to throat, lengthen through your cervical spine. You don't want to lift your booty when your neck's an extension, so find a nice neutral neck here before you begin. On the inhale, you're going to roll your pelvis towards your nose and then peel your spine off the mat one vertebra at a time, lifting the hips high.
Come up on the balls of your feet. Once your hips lift higher, keep your hips where they're at, but lower your heels. Feel the hamstrings here? Nice. Take your right leg straight out in front of you. Now inhale, toe point, kick out a ceiling tile. Keep the hip high as you exhale. Flex the foot, reach your heel towards the basement. Inhale, toe point. Exhale, flex and lower. Really opening up that hip. Inhale and exhale. Feel your left hamstring work to support your weight as you are using your right hamstring to kick the foot. Hip opener as you lower your heel. One more. Bend the knee, plant that foot on the mat. Take your left leg out, keep the hips high. Toe point, pick up the ceiling tile. Flex and reach that heel towards the basement. Being mindful not to let the hips sink, but keep those hips high. Nice toe point and flex. One more. Bend the knee, plant the foot on the mat, adjust your hips if you need. Articulate down. So find the shoulders first, then the mid-spine. Find the tag of your pants. Roll through neutral. Pelvis is a bowl of water. Let that water be level. Pull the knees in. Give yourself a hug.
Going to do plank, but we'll start in our quadruped plank position. This is a great, just a gentle position in plank. You can remain in quadruped, or you can follow me into full plank. With quadruped, shoulders directly above your wrist, hips directly above your knees. I want you to be in a perfect box. This is my cow. This is my cat. We're in neutral, so think about the tailbone reaching away from the crown of the head. Pull the mat apart like it's a piece of taffy. Really engage through that lat serratus muscle. Tuck your toes. So a modified version of plank would be your quadruped plank. Imagine you have a ball between your knees. You're just going to squeeze that imaginary ball, then hover your knees away from the mat. Just about a half an inch. Reach the tailbone away from the crown of the head, and breathe. Should feel it all working here. So this, you can stay here in this modified version. You can lower your knees. Take one foot behind you. Find that ball of the foot onto the floor. Draw that toe 2 inches closer to the heel of your hand. Take the other leg to meet. Full plank. And breathe. Be mindful not to drop the head, but reaching the crown of the head away from the heels. Be mindful not to really squish the shoulders together, but pull them apart. Find space between the shoulder blades. And breathe. Always breathing. Holding the plank for as long as you possibly can. The world record, 8 hours, 15 minutes. Not sure that's necessary, but if you can hold and hold, this is a full body exercise. And then eventually drop to your knees, sit back on your heels, and do a shell stretch. Bringing your booty right into your heels, opening up through that low back. We've worked our back muscle, or our front muscles and flexion. Now it's time to work your back muscles and extension. So you're going to lie on your bellies with your hands stacked on top of one another, your forehead on your stacked hands. All 10 toenails find the floor behind you. Big toes connected, your heels can be separated. I don't want the legs to be lazy here, so activate those legs. Pull your belly button away from the mat. It's never in front of the mat. On the inhale, leave your hands connected to the mat. You're going to imagine a marble is placed in front of your nose. You're going to roll the marble away with your nose, pull your head out of the turtle shell, lift your upper body away from the mat. Feel your back muscles work. On the exhale, reach the heart forward to return back down to your mat. Keep your hands on the mat. We'll do that a couple times. So roll the marble away, pull your head out of the turtle shell, lengthening the spine to lift, and then lengthen the spine to lower. So we're not just keeping our spine shortened. We want to build long, lean muscles that support our bodies. We have to think about stretching, stretching, stretching to lift, and stretching to lower. Now, glue your hands to your forehead. Roll the marble away, pull your head out of the turtle shell, lift the weight of your upper body. Feel your back muscles work. And then exhale, reach forward to return back down to the mat. 2 more. You guys are doing awesome. Lift, 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 pushing those feet into the mat as you lift your
chest away from the floor. Reach that heart forward to return. Last one. Stretching on the inhale to lift. And exhale. Return and rest.